It's the reverse scoop. What's going on, everybody? Another week.
We're back. We're back after a week's break with a very special guest here, and Akeem, Spoogy, LeVar Dotson. Mr. Akeem, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the reverse scoop. Ready for your debut tonight?
Yes, I'm ready for it. The reverse scoop. One of my favorite shots, for sure.
There you go, bro. I love it. You know, your shots have been great, but what I'm going to remind people right now is the Sports Center top 10 play back in 2015, where you took that stunner, made headlines on ESPN. So a little reminder for, all the fans right here. Right?
And the celebration too.
Yeah. Walk us through that celebration first, Akeem. What was going through the minds, man?
I was talking to Ali Khan on the boundary, and the shout to Ali Khan was, "Call me by my name. I am Spoogy."
Yeah.
But the celebration in that moment, I think it was a very intense moment in the game for sure. Two balls before, the guy on the non-strikers end was plumb LBW, and I was so upset. I was steaming like, ooh, my word.
Oh yeah.
So when the ball hit the edge, I took off, and that punch in the air was, the ball don't lie, baby.
The ball don't lie. Put that on a t-shirt right there. Yes.
All never lies.
That's a merch idea right here. We usually have a thing here, Akeem, where each week, we come up with these things and, drop these merch ideas. So Adam just dropped one here,
Right there.
So maybe, we come up with a t-shirt for it next week on the Reverse Scoop shop. And we got, Saeed Abdullah, one of your old buddies in the comments, Akeem. He's saying, Akeem Bhai, they're great. He's in the comments. You got a message for your old buddy here, Saeed Abdullah. I played under 19 with Saeed. He's a friend of mine from a long way back. So I'm sure you've known him too as long as, I do. So got a word for your brother there?
A message for Shaji right now. Show up to practice, Medijan. Where are you?
Shaji, get to practice, man. You're missing out. Missing out the good times with Akeem Bhai. Oh man, so he's in the comments. I'm sure he'll drop another one soon. But what's going on with you, Akeem? How are things, man? It's been a few years since we've seen you on a professional cricket field. So what are the future plans right now, man, with cricket? Are you still looking to play professionally? What are the goals? The present goals,
Well, presently, I'm definitely still looking to play professionally. I played minor league the last few years, and I think before that, I would say the last 5 or 6 years or so, I really took the chance. I took the chance to take some time off for cricket for sure, like at least about 5 or 6 years ago. So, it was, I think, last year or the year, just about the winter before that I was talking to Stephen Taylor, right? And we were having a conversation, and he was like, "Bro, you're not that old. What are you doing?" So, I took the opportunity after seeing USA in the World Cup last year as well. And, I actually got into doing a lot of coaching, and a lot of the kids encouraged me too. So I'm definitely still trying to play. And right now, this I would say this year is the first year since, I would say, 5 or 6 years, and actually, back in the gym. I'm back working out like I used to then. And, we'll be looking for it. I still got a few years. I mean, if I had to say, this is probably the cap end of my year. This is where I look to end off my career. So I want to go out with a bang for sure. I don't want to just let it fizzle out. That's never the way I played, and not the way I want to live.
Absolutely, man. I love the passion, man. And you've always given your entire thing on the field, and I've seen, you play. And I don't know if you remember, we played against each other too a while back, you know, in U.S. Open matches and, you know, Northeast region, back in the day when Osaka was around, right? We used to have all those different tournaments back then. So we've been part of that. And, formally we were never like introduced to each other, but, Saeed Abdullah, for example, I've been a good friends with, since my under 19 days. So, just amazing to see the passion still there, the hunger still there. And I've got a comment here from Abdullah. Actually, I'm just going to bring it up. It says, "I'm practicing in silence, my brothers." So, what does that mean? What does that mean?
The ball doesn't lie. The ball doesn't lie. The ball doesn't lie.
We're gonna come get you, on your silent practice one of these days. But that's good to hear, man. That you're still looking to play professionally, and you're still, have high, aspirations. So, MLC is something that we've seen in the last 10, 15 years. We've got Adam here, who's a collaborator with Seattle Orcas, and what do you see like the last 10 years of growth and the kind of talent we have here in the U.S.? Do you see it translating now? Because I know you've been in part of this journey since the start, right? You've seen this growth. You've felt it. You've been, involved with it through deep, cultural things in the American cricket. So, what are your thoughts about those kind of things?
Well, for sure, I think it translates more than translate. It resonates and it's echoing right now. The value and the all of what not only the major league but also minor league cricket has, and what the impact it has had on the entire cricket landscape in the United States. I guess you can't. My era is done here, but I played very young, right? So I had a chance to play with guys in that era, right? And for them, right, for sure, the pinnacle or their highest achievement wasn't what they could do in cricket, okay? Right, those were dreams that the people or my compatriots, the guys who played with me, those are the kind of things those are aspirations that we had, right? Cricket, the fact that cricket could really be something, right? Or the fact that here in the United States, professional cricket can exist, right? So to have minor league and major league and have that structure there in place, and it gives younger kids. I mean, when I talk to a kid now, especially the kids I'm coaching, when I talk to them, they have this passion in them. They say, yeah, I want to play major league. I want to play minor league. I want to do that. I want people to see me play. And that opportunity, that in itself propels a youngster. It gives a youngster the kind of fuel he needs to burn bright. That's what we've always been missing. Taking cricket, I always make that argument anytime I talk with cricket in the United States, especially prior to my era and in the soccer days, it's always been seen as this recreational sport. Okay, the vision or the realization of cricket as a professional enterprise has just become a reality.
Yeah. The market is so massive, but we're still lacking to crack it through, the mainstream media. I think we're still looked at as a second grade sport here in America, right? Because we can't compete with the big giants here. And I don't know if we have to. I think we are, should be good in our little bubble of where we are and expand there.
We could beat Pakistan.
Yeah, we can do that.
That hurts right here. That's true, and I think they will beat them again.
Because my whole thing with this is that I think we don't give America team enough credit. Like we can throw it with the best of them. There was 20 nations of that World Cup. We threw down. We beat one of the best teams, in Pakistan, and we had close games against South Africa.
What?
Well, you consider, we had a really, really close game with South Africa.
Yeah.
Really, really close game against India. The India game could have gone our way if it wasn't for the 5-run penalty. We took a catch, it could have gone our way, So, I mean, it's so close. It's just the Americans. The biggest thing especially me coming here to America, is just like Americans just don't understand the game and just don't have any value to like what the game brings the rest of the world, because the rest of the world loves cricket. You know, it doesn't matter if you're in the West Indies or Australia or India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, England, wherever. Everyone loves cricket, and they'll come around. Have you found it with? I don't know how much interaction you've had with, you know, Americans playing cricket, but have you seen anyone kind of like jump in and be like, "Hey, what's this?" Have you kind of taught anyone kind of like off the streets?
From my experience and my opinion, I think Americans do love cricket. The biggest hurdle is the fact that they don't really understand the game, and we don't. You see, I always talk when you talk. That's why I like how Nabil used the word translation before. Right, the translation, getting lost in translation is a big thing. Okay, the fact that the people who are most of the community that plays America in the United States can't always properly vocalize how to or translate how cricket is played to an American person, right? There's always this myth, right? There's always this misconception like, oh, cricket is a long game, cricket takes too long, but cricket is just like baseball. If you sit at a baseball game is very long. Yeah. I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and that's how I grew on social media, was just explaining the transition between how cricket is similar to baseball and the terms are similar, and it's just like it's kind of like this, it's kind of like that, and you know, people were like, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense. And obviously, America beating Pakistan in the World Cup really drove the needle to get people thinking about it or talking about it or watching it for those few weeks while we were at the Olympics and into that MLC number 2 last year. And then I think driving into this year, you know, with people like David Warner coming to the MLC and all the international players, that they're going to be grouped into the American players. I think it's going to be great. More people are going to be tuning in to watch.
Right. And there's more for sure. There'll be more opportunities for Team USA and American cricketers to get seen and grow. And that's what we want at the end of the day, you know, to have this spotlight on American cricketers and the fact that cricket is here in America more than anything else. I think for sure that's what Major League and Minor League have also been able to do as well. It is able to, you know, bridge this gap almost for Americans, where they are all not, let's say, let's not forget that what made the NBA and the NFL and all those what they are is the fact that they broadcast it on national television. Okay? And you can sit in your home and watch, and you start to connect with these people you see on that screen. Okay, that makes a big difference. Okay, and without cricket in that public view, you know, it's hard for them it's hard for you to ever, you know, get it fully across the right way. You know, and remember, the power of television has been alive since Walt Disney, right? So not only also that's what Mr. Packard utilized in Australia in the 80s, right? To change the sport, to make the sport even more dynamic than it was then, right? And it's just we're almost in that same revolution again. Where cricket, especially now, I like to call America the final frontier. Right? We're really here now on this final frontier, right? Where cricket is America's like the last place that cricket will explode. And when it does, it's infinity and beyond.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. And that is, the broadcasting is very important. And it is slowly trickling onto the screens. I was over at a friend's house a few weekends ago, and he's like, oh, yeah, the cricket was just on ESPN. The cricket was on. I was like, oh, really? There you go. It's on. Yeah.
Yeah. We've always seen it, like, you know, over the last 2 decades, we've seen here and there, but, you know, we always kind of get pushed to the side when push comes to shove, right? So how does that consistency come about, right? Because we've got a top 10 sports center right here, right? So somebody who made it, who was on the spotlight, but it doesn't get carried over the way we would like, or, you know, for other athletes to kind of capture, and the broadcasting, you know, to be consistent across the board. So that's been a big challenge. And I think if you even go back to the basketball example in the 90s, you know, college basketball had a big market. It was an underserved market where there was no broadcasting. Guys like Mark Cuban came in and they were like, we're going to broadcast this through, a radio, and they turned it into a big broadcasting company, sold it for multi-million dollars, and there he was on his way, right? So I think cricket is exactly where that spot was back in the 90s, where basketball was. And if somebody comes in, takes it to the next level from the broadcasting aspects and really puts it in front of the American people, I don't see how people don't, will not enjoy T20 cricket. I think it's massive, as Adam always talks about on his channels. You get to see more sixes in cricket than baseball. So who doesn't want to come watch that, right? It's more entertaining at the end of the day.
All entertainment.
All entertainment.
All entertainment,
man. And the field culture, is what people don't understand. The baseball is obviously beer, hot dog. When you come to the cricket field, the culture is, different, right? And I think once people kind of come to the field, feel that culture of cricket, it's, they don't let it go. So, that's what's so amazing about cricket. It's such a great unifier, brings culture together. And, look at us. We're all three different people, different parts of the world that we've, from. And we're sitting here talking about cricket. It's a great unifier. We got more comments from Abdullah in the comments. Let's get him in. He's saying that means hard work is on. Movie will come on the field soon. All right. We want to see this big movie, Syed Abdullah. So, get it out, Shaji. He's saying need to come bat on the new turf wicket and New Milford Cricket Club. If you guys didn't know, we, just played our first match last week. Southern Connecticut Cricket Association All-Stars and West Haven Cricket Club, previous year's champion in the league. And we played it on turf, man. It was a tough game, low-scoring affair, 84 all-out first team, and we chased it down in like 22 overs or something. So
that's good.
But turf, it played differently.
Always hard to battle.
Yeah, especially here where we're still learning about actually working and how to make a good pitch, right? We're not born curators, right? So it's literally learning. It's learning constantly to figure out how to actually do it. So if you guys have any tips for us on how to make good pitches, drop them in the comments, and drop any questions you guys have for Akeem in the comments too that you guys want to ask him, and we'll bring them up on the screen.
The best advice I have for your pitch, the best advice I have is to lay a concrete slab and put turf on top.
We have something similar, but coming from an Aussie, right? He wants to play on wax all the time, right?
Well, no, in Australia, we played on very well manicured grounds, and even if we were playing casual, because I played grade, even if you played casual cricket, you were still expected to be playing on a turf wicket that was very well manicured. So we were spoiled.
We can't compete with Australia,
over there,
man. You guys are way too spoiled. We've got one of Akeem's fans, Dilly and Sarita Kilawan. I don't know who that is, but you may know him, Akeem. He's saying, "Big up, Azim. My boy Akeem, he corrected it.
Big up yourself, Dylan. I'll probably see him on Saturday.
Huh?
I'll probably see him out at the park on Saturday.
Oh yeah, there you go. You'll see him on the park, man. You'll see him on the park. Any questions for Akeem? Let's drop them in the comments. Let's get into Akeem. I don't know if you've been following the North American Cup, man. North American Cup, USA team's been crushing it. And they don't seem to have much competition in that. Teams against Cayman Islands, Bermuda, Bahamas. So, how do you compare current team that we have now to the team that you played with, a few years back? So what do you see similarities and differences in those two teams?
I think so. I mean, I definitely see the team. The team is different, yes, but I think the culture, it's pretty much the same, it wasn't so much long ago that I played. So, and then COVID happened, so that kept cricket out for a little while, right? So, I think the team dynamic, the team is well built. I think they, especially for like North American Cup, I think what I really like about the team more than anything else, I like the fact that they're giving a lot of these younger guys opportunities to play. Right. I remember in my generation when I played, okay, the kid, there would only be about two of us about our age, okay, and then the rest. I would always think that I would always make a joke that I'll probably never get to play for USA until I get to almost 40. Right. So I think the fact that they have all these and I think it goes again to show the impact of minor league and major league. The fact that they have these young budding talents that are ready to play and they're passionate about the game, because make no qualms about it. To be at that level, to play and to win cricket, and at that intensity, you have to be passionate about the game for sure.
Yeah. We've definitely seen a lot of the youngsters.
What I'm hearing is I still got time to make it to the team. I still got time. I'm not 40. I'm not 40.
I guess all of us got time then, right?
I still got time. Oh man.
Hey, we got 3 wicket keepers sitting right here.
We got 3 keepers right here. Look at that. Wow. No, I think one of the craziest things, I gotta tell this story. So like the quality, like I said, I play grade cricket, and when you get taught cricket in Australia, it's obviously very cutthroat, and you move up quite quickly wherever you are. And I got given the gloves in my first game over here recently, and I took a catch. Not a catch. I just took a leg side take. I just moved to the leg side and took it, and everyone clapped as if I did something miracle. I'm like, what do you mean? Because like I can, like, because normally, like, if it goes to the leg side, it's 4 buys. Everyone misses it. The keepers miss it, and I just skipped across, took it, and everyone was like, oh, look at wow. I was like, that's just leg side take. I didn't, yeah.
I do that with my eyes closed.
Right? Easy for
That's
you.
right. Yeah. So I guess a question on the keeping. So let everyone know, because where did you learn to grow? Where did you learn to play cricket? Like, when did you start playing cricket? When did you learn? How did you get the gloves? Anyone inspire you to get the gloves, or kind of tell us that story, how you became a keeper?
All right. Well, I would say I learned cricket at the Multinotes Cricket Academy as a young kid, as a youngster. That's in Guyana, where my father's from, because we would go there in the summer to, because he would take me there to do things, good hangouts. But and then I would say I played my first adult game in Brooklyn. So that's my first hardball game. My first league game was in Brooklyn. I was probably about 14, maybe. So the person who really, I would say, let's say my first inspiration for wicketkeeping was his name was Kenneth Wong. He was a wicketkeeper. He played for Guyana, and he used to play in the league with us. And he said, he saw, but I was the youngest in the team, and a little short. He said, "Look, come to UKeep. I feel that this is probably easy for you." And he started teaching me the basics, and I got a little better. As I started getting better, it was the first trial for an under-19 USA team. It was in Texas in 2002 or maybe 2003, something like that. And there were no wicketkeepers. Nobody wanted to wicketkeep. And that same year that Wongy was teaching me to keep, and that they said, "Oh, I'll do it." And I did it. I was the best keeper. I was the only one who wanted to keep. So I made Team USA under 19, and that was when we went on our first tour to the America's Cup in 2003. I think we got beat so bad. Oh my! We lost. That was the first time we actually beat Argentina at under 19.
Wow.
The only game we won was Argentina. Bermuda beat us. Canada spanked us. Hard time.
So what was it like back in those days? Did you have facilities? Like, were you guys playing on any turf, or you still had the Hessian bags? What was it like back then? You probably don't have anything back then, right?
All we had there was mats. We played mats, and we played on the basketball court.
Wow.
And the handball court. That's where we would practice too, and that's where we do a lot of our practice on handball courts. Sure.
Wow.
Handball courts.
Because that's all it is. That's from my
man,
perspective. All it is
infrastructure's,
is funding.
you know,
It's just funding and facilities and getting the people through the system, having a system where they're, you know what I mean? And then people come through. You get these youngsters playing cricket. You get them filtered with good coaching. Away we go.
You have that system for progress.
Infrastructure's lacking, man, big time.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what really needs to happen more than anything else. That once that structure is in place, everything else will bloom and flourish from there. You talk about Nabil asked about how we build longevity and how we build this lasting impression more than just a one-off tournament, a big hype happening. It happens from investing in the young players that have a future in the game. That's the blueprint of the NBA on any major sport. Okay, when you want to build and grow the sport, you invest in the young people that are in the sport. As they grow old, you invest in their you invest in their education, their security. You make sure that once they get old, then they start to age out, they have a place in the system where they can go and work and still continue to thrive in the sport, right? And through that, you make the sport grows and flourishes and becomes infinity and beyond.
Absolutely. Adam's brought up some really good examples in the past with the women's basketball, right? Ellen Amar, who, became a role model and put women's basketball on the map, for example.
Rugby,
right? And
rugby.
Or rugby. Yeah, rugby. So yeah. So we need those kind of role models essentially in cricket. And the only way it happens is if we have those youth and young players come through, perform, and inspire the next generation. It'll take some time, obviously, and we've had great role models like Akeem, who's inspired a generation of youngsters to, I'm sure, take up the glove and play for America and represent the the American country. So it for us, just to see the kids now, at the grassroots level, and the involvement of a lot of these smaller academies that are popping up that are doing the hefty grassroots work and then feeding it into, this hub system that USA Cricket has built, throughout the tournament structures is working because it's producing, decent players, at the end of it. So we've seen, Sai Teja Mukamala around 20 years, coming onto the scene and, doing his thing. So what are your thoughts on him? Akeem, he's a good kid with, so much potential. Some thoughts on this kid, man, because I think he's a superstar already. But where can the future take him?
More than he's like you should show you're right. He's a superstar already. Awesome talent. And the talent has been growing and developing since every year and. Every time he gets to the crease, he plays a game. He gets one strike, one more notch on his belt, and he gets better. You see it. You see it in his game. You see him evolving. I remember for sure about Facebook reminded me that actually 2 or 3 days ago, I saw Sai about 6 years ago in Guyana with the under-19 team. They went to play the local tournament there, and they won the tournament. And I think he got 200 or 300 in that tournament. And from then, from the player he was then, you saw the little small. Because I definitely was there watching a few games. I think I was there for about 5 or 6 of their games. But you see from the mistakes, the flaws he had then, he's completely a different cricketer, so much more polished, and he just keeps getting better every time. So where he's gonna be 10, 15 years from now, who knows? Because how old is Sai? 21, 22, something like that?
Yeah. I think he's going to break all records for USA, man. He's going to be all pathetic records he's going to have.
Yeah, he'll outscore anyone who ever held a bat for USA. Undoubtedly.
I think so, too. Because he's so young. He's got another 15, 20 almost, if he keeps on scoring. Who knows how long he can play and if he stays fit. So I think he's going to be a legend, by the end of his career. That's what I'm, at least putting out there. Adam, what do you think, man, about Sai? I know you're a big fan, and you wanna see him play for Seattle Orcas, but he's a Texan Super Kings. He's a Texan Super Kings, So some thoughts from you.
We did okay in the draft, but yeah, no, I mean, we have the young guys coming up for Team USA are phenomenal. We've seen a lot of them cycle in, cycle out over the past a couple of rounds, against the Nepal season, against Scotland season. Even now during this latest cup, and we're going to see more the young talent featured in the MLC. Some of these guys playing minor leagues are coming up that we get to see, because we don't all get to see, like even myself, I don't get to see who's really playing in the minor leagues. That's hard to get a hold of watching that stuff. So being able to see them play in major league and essentially prime time, Yes Network here covers it here in New York. I host all the MI games get broadcast on TV, so it's going to be good. I mean, like the younger cricketers coming through, like even in the IPL now, we've got a 14-year-old playing IPL. He's scoring a 6 off his first ball, and like these young people are coming through, and talent is there around the world. Young people.
You seen a clip of him facing Jofra Archer? It was making the rounds on Instagram. It was just he was in the net with Jofra Archer just firing it in, dude. And this kid was just holding his own. So I was super impressed, man. Super impressed by this kid. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I didn't see the clip. No, I watched him play.
I saw the shot. I definitely saw that.
The 6, right? Off the first ball. Yeah, crazy, man. So got a comment here from Dilly Sarita. New York have over 10,000 cricketers with no proper group. Paper group. whatever that means, proper group. You think he meant to say. But yeah, man, New York is filled with cricket. We have the Commonwealth Cricket League. We have the New York National League. We have the Brooklyn Cricket League. Then we have in Queens cricket all over. It's packed everywhere. Long Island, I'm forgetting. Long Island's packed with cricket. So where is the most competitive cricket in New York, according to you, Akeem?
Currently, I'll say the National League. Most teams that are worth their salt have ventured to the National League. Yeah, that's where it is right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was always a little competitive in the past, but things have changed. The way the National League is structured now has been much more attractive to other clubs. So most clubs have piled in there. I think National League now features about 4 divisions or something. So yeah, I think that's something that definitely needs to happen in this region, in this area. The cricket really needs to consolidate itself, right? Either all the good cricketers need to come together and say we're only playing in this league, or all the good clubs need to say, hey, we're only playing in that league, so the crickets could progress. Because the way it's so
it's all over the place. It's messy. Right? It's probably the right.
It really waters down the cricket when you have a team that could only find 3 good guys to play, and the rest is just hobbling around and just rolling around the ground. And how are you gonna learn anything that day? One team shows up one week with 7 guys, the next week they can't play. The next week they got 5, and then
I think so like I don't know how it works I can speak in Australia. How it worked is you have these clubs, and inside the club, that club would feature 5 teams, and you would play. You'd have a first grade team, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Then you'd have like the city and suburban. We would call it like your village cricket team. They would play in the village, the casual league. And I feel like that needs to really happen here. Like break it up into the region. Like I know we have one of the issues is the state border lines, but Connecticut and New York are close enough that you can make one giant region and pool some of these clubs together to make like first grade, second grade, third grade, so that you have all the first graders playing against first graders. Because just like you said, in each team you probably have 1 or 2 really, really good players, and then it drops quite quickly towards the tail. Yeah.
Tail's long like an alligator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but I think New York National League has done a wonderful job. Even New Milford Cricket Club out of Connecticut, they've attracted us, and I'll be leading a team out there in New York National League this year. And it's because of the good work that's done by Ramesh, the president. There's about 5 divisions, as Akeem mentioned, and for 5 different, skill levels. If you want to play, in A division, B division, you want to get into the premier division, you have options. You just got to be honest with yourself about your skill level, and you can get in there and play, and everything is sponsored with prize money. So I love the way he's kind of managed the entire process. So shout out to him, and shout out to New York National League. And as you guys heard from Akeem and guys in the comments as well, it's probably one of the best leagues in New York to play for.
So that's where I got to go show him my leggies. That's where I got to go show him the leggies.
That's where you got to come. You already registered with the Milford Cricket Club, whenever you want to play. Me and you.
He's really good.
Do you play for a team in New York National? I don't know.
They say every wicketkeeper thinks they could be a leg spinner.
That's right. I am. I'm the next Shane Warne right here. The next Shane Warne right here. We got it.
Oh, man. Somebody made a comment. I have $4. Jimmy Sultan, you can keep the $4, man. But Akeem, are you playing for a team in New York National League, man, or no? That's what I do.
I play for the Elite Cricket Club. Cricket Club. Elite Cricket Club.
When does the Milford Cricket Club play you guys? That's what I want to see on the schedule.
I just glimpsed at the schedule. I don't remember, but maybe sometime in I think it might be the 5th or 6th game.
Oh, sweet, man.
No, what division are you playing?
Saturday Premier. Buffalo Saturday Premier.
Okay. Saturday, Elite is not. It is playing Sunday Premier. Saturday Premier. I'll see you with Liberty Cricket Club, Blue Nation.
Cricket Club. All right, there you go. I'm gonna check the schedule, man. I'm gonna make sure that I line that up, and I'll bring Adam with me for that game, and he'll bowl some leggies.
I'll bowl some leggies. That took 3 wickets in my practice game. Just saying.
Hey,
the slowest, highest, loopiest leg spin you ever seen. But
those are the hardest. Those are the hardest to play.
It's way over the eye line. You're gonna do this to try to see it come down. You're gonna go, oh, there it comes.
Your legs start to shake. You're like, oh man, where's the ball gonna get here?
That's right.
I'll have the cameras on, so we'll get that on the video.
There you go. Get on video, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let's get into a few other things, man. I want to talk about. Let's see. We've talked about the youth kids, the talent. Tell me about you. Can you share a moment, when you realize that, hey, I'm playing for my country here, and did that kind of feeling come up the first time you got the call up, or did it take you getting on the field and stepping on the field and kind of having those goosebumps?
I think it definitely takes getting on the field. When you get the call, you never, especially with cricket, you're never really too sure of your place, right? You might get called, especially since I played since I was so very young, right? A lot of times, I would definitely get called up, and from the time I get on the plane, they were like, you know your job, this kid. I remember my first tour for sure. I played the whole tour. I probably played about 2 or 3 tours without a single game for sure. Right, so for sure, the first time stepping on the field is where all the jitters start, right? That's when it really starts to rock you and shock you, right? Because the cricket is always, especially sometimes, more times batting, sometimes feeling you got you got your teammates with you, but cricket sometimes can be a very lonely game. It's just you and the ball you got to focus on out there. Sometimes it can be quite daunting. When everything is on the line, and the cameras turn on, that's when you really think about everything else that you should have been thinking about. You should not be thinking about.
So what advice would you give youngsters how to deal with that pressure? Let's say kids that got make it to the top level and they have to deal with those pressures. What are some advice that you could give them that would kind of relaxes them? Because I listened to one of your interviews, right, Akeem, and I know you're in the dressing room. You're always trying to make sure the guys are relaxed. They're on the field, playing as a team, and keeping a nice vibe. So how do you maintain that? And how can other teammates help the younger lot to relax them actually, so they can enjoy the game?
Well, first of all, I think it's something that is a question that always comes up because it's cricket, and with kids, they're always a little so nervous. So the first thing I always tell them is to breathe first. Take a deep breath, right? You need to. Nothing happens unless you could breathe, right? You got to breathe and go, right? First you breathe. Once you're able to exhale and then you catch your breath and everything's all right, then know that whatever happens, the ball is round. It could go this way, it could go that way. Today you're a winner, tomorrow you're a loser, right? But at the end of the day, you do it because you love it. And the game is, if you're not enjoying it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And that's the important part. Whether you get bowled for a duck, or you get hit for 10 sixes, or you're the guy who gets five wickets or makes the 100, cricket should be something that you enjoy. It's something you should be passionate about. And that's what you always. And I made a joke. One joke I always tell the kids too is to try to play with a smile. Right? If you play with a smile, everything is going to go your way.
Yeah, that's true. I think kids take it a little too seriously, because I think the pressure that I think maybe, I don't know if it's the parents or the coaches, or sometimes the kids get put under that pressure and the spotlight, and they need to be put under there if they want to, get to that next level, because it's a part of the process. It's part of the learning, and that's where you find out, what the kids actually need. And everybody, might not respond to the same type of an approach, right? Everybody has to have that personalized approach. What may work for one may not work for another. That's why coaching is such a difficult aspect to the game, right? And we know, Akeem, you're not transitioning into the coaching side of things. I'm sure you have some players under your wing that, come to mentorship from you and ask you about the game, about improvements, processes. So what's the next step of your coaching journey is looking like, man? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Do you see yourself coaching, and and where do you see yourself coaching, at the top international level or at the grassroots? And what's your preference there as well?
Well, for now, I started. I plan to begin here at the grassroots and building out the structure of Team USA. I would say in 10 years, I hope to be coaching internationally. I would say one main goal I do have, I would love to be the coach for Team USA. That's for sure. As far as international aspirations.
I think you'd make a great coach, man. Team USA needs you. Team USA needs you. We got a comment from Naveen Gangadeen. Spoogy needs to commit to elite set examples. Whoever that is. Maybe he's a buddy of yours.
I'm pretty sure everyone that's commented so far, they either play in the National League or they probably, some of them probably going to be playing against me this weekend.
Yeah.
So they're here taking the piss.
I think the National League is getting pushed back a week because of some field adjustments and things. So I think the season's going to start now on May 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Not a bad shot.
May 3rd. Yeah, May 3rd is when it's starting. Just so everybody knows about it, there was a meeting tonight, that I had to join before this live stream, just to get that confirmation from the league. So, just so everybody knows on there. Aveen says he's a really good coach. At the moment, he has a talented youth under his wing called Brandon Padiana. Let's talk about Brandon Padiana, man. You holding out on us, Akeem. Talk about the kid, man.
Padiana, yeah. Padiana, he's a good youngster. Definitely a good bat. He talks a bit much more. Talks a bit too much more than he should, but
yeah.
hopefully he grows out of that.
Kids these days, right?
Yeah, kids these days.
Kids these days, man. Kids these days, but let's keep going, man. We've got women's cricket. Women's cricket. Zimbabwe's coming over to play in Grand Prairie View Stadium against our USA women's team. I had that team up and I lost it now. So I'm gonna try and pull it up again. But have you seen the growth of women's cricket, Akeem? I know, back when we played, it wasn't as huge, but now at least we've seen some growth on that side as well.
Right. There were definitely some efforts back when we were younger, but now it's flourishing and it's becoming so much better. It's a beautiful thing. Uh, it definitely shows again the impact of broad, broadcasting cricket. I think the influence of minor league and major league, right? There are so many, and of course, I think the ICC as a whole has been pushing women's cricket around the globe and the growth of women's cricket. And I think, you know, we see from the progress that they've made, especially from Team USA that we see in that USA women's team. They're very young. Their potential far outweighs their talent right now. If once they, and not to say they're not talented, they're immensely talented. But once they can stick to what they're doing and keep developing, they have the potential to stand at the top of the women's rankings for sure, right? Because which game was it? Well, let's not talk about the past. We will see in the upcoming encounter against Zimbabwe. This will be a great test for them, right? Where do you stack up? Right? And I think they're going to shock us all. Yeah.
I think so too, man. I think there's some really good young female cricketers, you know, budding stars that are. Yeah. Absolutely, man. I think, you know, shout out to, you know, the women's team and all that effort. All the effort behind. I'm gonna announce the squad. Actually, I found the squad finally for the T20 for the women's. So I'm just gonna name it out here. Aditi Bichudasma, Bhakti Shastri is a new name. Chetna Prasad, Chetna Reddy Pagidala, Disha Dingra. Shout out to Disha. We're gonna drop her episode soon. I recorded a podcast interview with her about a month or so ago. So her episode will be up soon. Gargi Bhogle, Gita Kudali, Isani Vagila, Jivana Aras, Mahi Madhavani, Mitali Patwardhan, Pooja Ganesh, Ritu Singh, Sanvi Madi. That's the T20 squad. And then there's an ODI squad as well. Aditi Chudasma captain, Chetna Reddy Pagidala, Chetna Prasad, Disha Dingra vice captain in the ODIs, Geeta Kudali, Jessica Willa Tigmua, Lika Shetty, Mahi Madhivan, Mitali Patwardhan, Pooja Ganesh, Ritu Singh, Sanvi Madi, Suhani Tadani, and Yashaditi Teki are the rounds off the squad. So good luck to the USA women's team. Their match starts, I think, on the 25th against Zimbabwe women's at Grand Prairie Stadium. So go check out the women's game there. Support the home, team here. We got more comments coming in. Ask Akeem about the warm-up he and Brendan do before the games. Very good, coach. This is Jimmy Sultan.
No,
asking about the warm-ups, man.
You do warm-ups?
I think I know what warm-ups he's talking about, but
I do warm-up. The team to do all the warm-ups together. I don't know what the warm-ups that I don't know what warm-ups that Jimmy is talking about, but
I'm
Jimmy,
yet to see a warm. I'm yet to see a warm up
I'm
here
not
in the
too
States.
sure.
I'm yet to see a warm up.
I think we have a merch idea in there somewhere. We just gotta find it. You know.
Yeah. We try to do a little quick. We try to do a little quick run around the ground. Spin around. Get a little stretching. Roll the back out. Roll over.
The normal stretch routine is what he's referring to, Jimmy. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. You know.
Yeah, I know what you do. We do normal stretching. I know what Jimbo's talking about.
Good. So let's keep on going, man. We've got let's talk about some of the toughest bowlers you've faced. So who ranks top on that list? Toughest bowler Akeem has ever faced. So in international cricket, not locally. So let's talk international cricket.
Kemar Roach.
Kemar Roach. Okay, you found him difficult to face.
Yeah, for sure. It's like trying to stop a train, They're very slow, but still got the same power.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
He's just explosive. He's an explosive fella, and he always. I mean, I faced him when I was young and under 19, and when I was a little bit older as well. He hadn't had the same pace, but he still bowled that same kind of heavy ball. You know, that's always hard to match. Difficult as a lot of pacers. Also, Franklin Rhodes is very hard to bat. Gets very steep bounce. Very hard to navigate sometimes. And for sure, he has this raw strength. He just bowls this extra speed ball. You got to look out for. Either you get out of the way or get hit down.
Wow.
And then, sure, I had the experience of having to play against that. Had to play against him on like an AstroTurf, right? And it was, oh my God, it's like even worse.
AstroTurf on, so it was like concrete underneath it, as Adam likes it.
Yeah, like that. Just like Adam likes it.
Adam's used to the 70 mile per hours. You know, I'm not sure how 90 mile per hour will come off of the cement.
Just how I like it.
Yeah, I know. We've got Imran Hussein joining us. Imran usually joins us every week. Imran, welcome to the pod, man. You got any questions for Akeem? Drop them in the comments. We've got a special star here, you know, talking all cricket, having a wonderful conversation with Akeem here. So
I got a question for you. Where'd you bat in the batting order, Akeem? Where'd you bat?
I was opener.
Oh, opener keeper, right? Let's go. Opener keeper right here. That's the way.
In the last few years, I played. The coach was trying to have me bat like in the middle, to especially like at 50 overs, to sort of. I guess you would say because I guess I'm. You would say I'm probably one of the most technically sound guys, so I would need to bat there to hold the game up for if we needed it. But yeah. Most times I would definitely bat it up front. But hardly ever on number 3. Sometimes maybe, but most times I would open.
Nice, I like that.
But that's when I did get a game.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And do you play mostly red ball or white ball? I guess white ball, right? In America,
white ball.
Yeah, white ball. Oh, I missed.
Yeah. I think we used red ball in the leagues back a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in Australia we exclusively only played red ball.
Okay.
Everything was red ball, and it's so different because it swings so much more.
I had the opportunity to play red ball when I played in the UK. I played in Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire. I played 2 seasons, so that was definitely a great experience. Definitely taught me a lot about playing the swinging ball for sure.
Yeah,
I played with a very young side. We had just gone up to the Bedfordshire Premier, and we played East Anglia 1. So it was definitely you see two county guys rock up every week. They have a run. Oh boy, yeah.
That's good, man. Good. We've got Imran's ask a question. He says, "Can you ask him who he will be rooting for in the West Indies Breakout League?" I heard about the new league that came out. I'm not sure what the full logistics are on that, but Imran, you want to fill us in?
I don't know. I don't even know what the teams look like. I mean, I got to see the team first before I know.
Neither do I. I haven't really caught up with the new league of West Indies cricket, but West Indies cricket, we've got a lot of West Indies fans here on the Reverse Scoop channel, man, because, I do a lot of ranking videos. I do top 10, and one of my best videos is the top 10 West Indies batsmen of all time. There's always a debate between Brian Lara and Sir Vivian Richards. Who's the top West Indies batsman of all time? Who do you got? Let's go with each one of us. We'll go with Akeem first, and then Adam. Who are we picking as the top West Indies batsman of all time?
I'm picking Brian Lara. Sure.
You going Brian Lara? All right. What about you, Adam?
I second that motion.
Yeah, you guys are not Sir Viv fans, man. Come on.
No, I'm definitely a fan.
I'm the only guy here ruining Sir Viv.
I'm definitely a fan of Viv, but Brian is Brian.
Right.
I mean, Viv.
400.
Viv is a dynamic player. He has the ability to hit the ball where he wants to, when he wants to. He's that kind of player. He's a muscle. He had the. Not only did he have the power, right, and the and the talent and the guile, right, to time the ball well enough, right? He also had this swagger about him, right, where he could almost command the game at the crease without even batting a ball, right? That was Viv. Brian, the bat is a wand, and he swings it, and the ball goes away.
Yeah,
right.
I like that. I like that analogy. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good analogy, man. But I think the reason why I always put up Sir Viv ahead of Lara was obviously because of the aura. The guy had just massive aura, right? And I think the quality of bowling that Sir Viv faced with just that style, you know, a hat, gum, just like nonchalant kind of deal, you know, where Brian Lara, we've seen struggle against Shoaib Akhtar, for example, Brett Lee, for example. He couldn't pull them. You know, he was great against spinners, you know, the best player of spin I've ever seen in my life. But against real quick bowling, I saw him struggle. Where Sir Viv, you know, you look at him, the fastest bowlers from the 80s, he was smashing in front foot pulls, 90 miles per hour, gone for a 6. You know, I think that's where I see a difference, you know, but I don't know if you guys would agree with me there. And I think in the comments, even Imran is saying, you know, he'll go with Brian Lara. So I think I'm like outnumbered here.
I think one of the issues is it's just the generation before us. You know, I grew up watching Brian Lara bat. So I didn't really watch Vivian Rich's bat. So it's one of those things.
We're all from the same generation. We're all 36, 37-year-old guys right here sitting, you know. We're all same generation. That's
why I haven't watched that much of him bat. So, but I've watched plenty of Brian Lara bat. So,
yeah. I would recommend go watch some of his videos, bro. Such sublime. Like Sir Viv is just, he was a master. Like I'll still go watch his videos just because he awes me. I'm like, dude, how did you do this? Just nonchalantly, right? So I was a big fan, you know, since I started watching him. But Lara was obviously, you know, the true prince from the 90s when we were growing up watching him. Just always used to hit Pakistan for runs all the time. So, you know.
everyone's hitting Pakistan for runs.
Yeah, who doesn't hit Pakistan?
I gotta keep digging every time.
I think Pakistan just bends over, dude. You know, whenever somebody comes down, they're just like, all right. I think it's a merch idea, you know, right there. But let's go over some hot takes. You know, we like to do some hot takes here as we go through, you know, each week's podcast. I'm not sure if you've been following IPL, Akeem, but you know, Jake Fraser McGurk greater than Ruturaj Gaikwad in T20s right now. Where do you land? Is Jake Fraser McGurk better or Ruturaj Gaikwad in T20s?
I wouldn't say, well, that's a hard one for me because I really haven't been keeping up that much. But is there any
I haven't answered this question.
Is there few better than Fraser McGurk right now?
The answer to this question is everyone is better than Fraser McGurk right now. That's the answer to the question. That's the answer to the question. I think he has a total of 7 runs in 7 games.
7 and 7?
I think it's 9. I think it could be 9 runs in 5 games. It's not a lot.
So that means higher probability for him to score in the next match, right?
But they sacked him. He got dropped from this game. I think I solved his problem because he's he's an explosive batter, right? But I think one of the things we've seen out of the IPL is I'm always harsh on the Australian cricketers. That's just how I roll. And Tim David is someone that I was like, oh, what's he doing in the side? Why does he play international cricket? But he's proved me wrong. He's been batting down at like 8, and he's been only coming in the final 5 overs, and he'll score 30 off 12 balls. Which is big impact, right? Big impact. And same with Stoinis. He's been coming in later. When he comes in the middle overs, he kind of gets out. And same with Maxwell. Maxwell's getting out in the middle overs, no runs. So I think someone like Fraser McGurk, Maxwell, if they're out of form, put him in the last 5 overs only. And first innings and just get 30 runs in the last few overs rather than having to prove yourself to get the 50 in the first 10 overs. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you need a hitter in the deep to go, make him a closer rather than making him an opener.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Take it deep, right? Take it deep.
Take it deep. Take it deep. You need someone that can take it deep.
We had that merch idea way back when, man. Taking it deep. So the next one.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, I think we've caught up with that one. But the impact player rule is creating monsters with the bat and destroying bowling skills. Where do we land with this one, guys?
Yeah.
Akeem, let's go with Akeem.
You go first, Akeem, because I got an opinion on this one. Don't worry about it.
I mean, that's hard to say, man. I mean, bowler's got a bowl, batter's got a bat. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about exactly?
The rule can really create the monster. The rule doesn't create the monster. The bowler who's bowling the bad ball, he's the one creating the monster.
Here's the real question. This question needs to be rephrased. You should rephrase the question. Should we have impact players to begin with? Does having impact players go against the spirit of the cricket? Because cricket traditionally is 11 players and a 12th man. You can't use the 12th man. 12th man can only field. So now we're having situations where a team is in trouble and now they bring in the impact player and now it changes the game. That's not how cricket traditionally is meant to be run. So what do we think about the impact player altogether? Should we have impact players?
I don't think so. I don't believe in having an impact.
Right here. Money. Sign him up.
I don't know. I think it's an exciting rule. It's an exciting rule. I mean, Rohit Sharma, for example, right, comes out, I think, in one of the IPL matches as an impact player. It's like, the runs wins the game. I think it's dynamic. It's similar to baseball's pinch hitter or a pinch runner, as you would see in the game. And I think it's not bad, but we got to find a better way to use it.
Pinch hitter, he's still part of the game, right?
Once he replaces him completely once he pinch hits for him. So he has to field in there for whoever he replaced. Yeah.
So I feel like this, like I said, I feel like it's against cricket in an entirety. Like it has its pros, but its pros are like against the cricket because like they got rid of you can't retire hurt anymore. You're out hurt, right? You can't retire hurt. They got rid of that part of the game. So why are we having an impact player come in and then keeping the retired hurt rule? If you're going to have impact players, you should allow people to retire for injuries like the olden days and then go all the way back. Yeah. Have the second runner come back in. Remember back in the day we had the runners, the second runners, the second creases? Bring that back. Like how did we go from removing that and then bringing impact players in? That's the opposite of that rule change. Like I think the batter should stay in. Just stay in. No impact players. Because that's the whole point. Is like you need to have picked the 11 best players.
Yeah, like back in the 80s or 90s, right? I think guys like Ian Botham or even like players from Pakistan, they would drink a bottle of Coke, would go out to bat, would pull a muscle, and then, have guys running out, for them. So, that culture is obviously, we've come a long way from that, right? Drinking sodas and playing cricket. So, Test cricket needs one major change: 4-day matches, mandatory ping ball, and prime time only. Where do we land here?
Wow.
It's a major change. I don't know. Oh, you go, Akeem. What do you got? You want one change for Test cricket?
If you make it, if any changes are going to be in Test cricket, it's definitely not 4 days. It's definitely 5 days. The test needs to be 5 days. 4 days is just not enough. I guess until you understand the dynamic of a 2-inning game, you don't really get it.
Yeah.
By that 5th day.
It used to be 6 days, right? Test cricket used to be 6 days in the 70s, 80s. We brought it down to 5 days. ODI cricket used to be 60 overs. We brought it down to 50 overs. Now we're back into the, T20 cricket. So over the last 60, 70 years of cricket, we've seen shorter formats overtake the game. And now Test cricket finishes within 3-4 days. We hardly see matches kind of get through. But Adam, what do you got, man?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with the 4 days. I mean, the Sheffield Shield in Australia plays 4-day games. That's how they do that. Yes, first class games are 4-day games. And like with the baseball style of play we're seeing, like, Border Gavaskar Trophy, that whole scenario. Yeah, the games aren't going 5 days, but like the 5-day games are the most exciting games there are. The games that go to 5 days and the classic games that we could recall are those 5-day games, but we're seeing less and less of those. So I would be okay if it went to 4 days, if that was had to happen. I think one of those switches too is the 5 days could be too long for viewership. I think that's something like trying to grab a new audience. Because I compared it. The best way I've heard it is Charlie Cook explained it to me. He said he can explain it like the Masters. The Masters golf tournament was on a few weeks ago, and that's a 4-day golf event where people are tuning in for 4 days to watch golf, Thursday through Sunday. And that's what Test cricket is. You're tuning in for 5 days. You don't watch every ball, but you tune in throughout the day and you watch and you're carrying on. So potentially that could be an option. I don't think pink ball, mandatory pink ball is an option. Yeah. And prime time only. I mean, you mean like day night, or you mean like only on the weekends?
Yeah, sure. Prime time. I don't know. Like make it so like it's watchable for people.
People are always. That's what you mean. We want people to play at midnight. Like,
yeah,
you gotta go 9 overs, bro.
Whatever works, it's work for them, right? But that was that. Let's go to the last one, and then we'll get close to calling it off. But if your team scores 260 plus and still loses, maybe you should just forfeit the next game.
That's ridiculous.
Well, if your team scores
last one, guys, we're gonna.
If your team scores 226 and gets chased down in 18 overs, you probably should, give up. Give up at that point. I don't know if you know this story, Akeem, but so Nabil and I played against each other last year, and we batted first. I was in a partnership of 151. I scored 43. The other guy scored 150 something. We put up 226 or 225, something like that, in 20 overs, and we came off the field. And I can't tell you the hype we had in the side of our field. We were like, we're winning this game. There was no way we're losing the game. We were so like, this game's in the bag. We might as well go home now. We've already won it. And then they went out there and absolutely demolished that total. They took it down in 18 overs. It was just 4 after 4 after 6 after 6. It was just unbelievable.
Playing on concrete, man. That's what.
Playing on concrete. Playing on synthetic concrete is bad.
220 is not safe.
Yeah.
No. 230 is not safe. No.
240.
Yeah, man. Oh God.
I think the first 300-run game may happen this year for the MLC because they're playing at the Oakland Coliseum. Now, unless they do some really big construction moves to the boundaries, through my calculation, home plate to the boundary is 400 feet. So if they put the pitch in the middle, the boundaries would only be 59 meters or 60 meters, which is right on the minimum length of the field can be, which is going to be like one of the smallest boundaries in the world for an international stadium. So I think they could get a big score in that stadium for the first couple of games for MLC.
I think so.
That's smaller than our ground. It's smaller than our ground, yeah.
We'll see. A lot of them might get caught in the pitch.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Drop in pitch. Yeah.
That's right, man. That's right. But, we got Daryl joining us a bit late tonight. He says, "What's up, Spoogy?" Daryl is a buddy of ours, mutual friend. Yep. So, Daryl, you're a bit late, bro. I don't know if you were taking a nap or what, but, we're just ending this conversation with Spoogy. We've had a wonderful conversation, and it was a blast. I'm glad we did this, and we're gonna do this again. We're gonna play a lot of cricket this season, with Spoogy, against Spoogy. So Adam and I and Akeem will bring more content to you guys. Any final words, guys, before we call it for the night? We've been doing it for almost an hour and 10 minutes, which is good.
What?
Yep.
Goes quick.
Past
Conversation's
it, man.
flying. Goes good when you're having fun over here.
Yeah.
That man with the gloves is insane, Daryl.
When the cricket's on, you don't notice the time.
That's right.
And it's about the cricket.
That's right. It's all about the cricket.
All about the cricket. So that's, I guess, the final word from Akeem. Adam, you got anything, man, before we call it?
I'll be playing you on Sunday, mate. I'll be versing you on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can handle those leg spinners.
That's
Oh,
video.
man.
I think what I'm going to do is I'll keep the first 10, and then I'll bowl the 11th and the 13th over, and then see if they keep me on.
Well, your leggies, I think you're gonna rip through the lineup, man. I'm pretty confident.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
The slower it is, the harder it is to hit there, man.
So slow, bro. It's so slow.
I tell that is one of the biggest tricks about American League cricket. Okay, you don't get beaten by pace. You get beaten by the lack of pace.
That's right, big time. That's the merch idea right there. Get beaten by the lack of pace.
Oh, man. God. Lack of pace.
On that note, I think that was a perfect ending right there for our podcast tonight. It was a wonderful conversation, Akeem. Thank you so much for joining Adam and I tonight, man. And I hope we get to do this very soon again. To our viewers, thank you for joining us. You guys were awesome tonight. Great, engagement. Make sure to smash that like button. Any questions for next week? Any ideas you guys have? What do you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments, and we'll, do our best to bring that to you guys in our episode 32 next week of the Reverse Scoop Podcast Cricket Weekly here. We bring you all the major, news updates from, cricket world and USA cricket, make sure to check out the Reverse Scoop shop. Supports youth cricket development at the grassroots level in partnership with Milford Cricket Club, a nonprofit, that supports youth cricket development in the grassroots level. So check that out, and we'll put up some merch ideas. I've been sitting on a lot of these great merch idea shirts, and I'm going to start to pop them out on the shop. And if you guys like it, let me know, and we'll continue that process with you guys. So again, thank you guys, and I'm going to call it a night. Akeem, thank you. Adam, thank you, and to you viewers, thank you. And we'll catch you guys next.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Akeem.
Absolutely. Thank you, Akeem. Thank you.